Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My guest is Joseph Russo, who is the author of Selling Your House in This Housing Emergency of 2008. His website is americasbestagent.com, and we are about to learn a lot about the real estate market.
Thank you, Elise, for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us. Now, I've heard a lot about foreclosures. Just how bad is it, Joe?
It's pretty significant at this time. Depending on the reports that you read, it's between 3,000 to 7,000 foreclosures a day are coming on the books, and that's a lot. The problem that we're having is really affecting the market. 1/3 of the properties that are on the market now are actually bank-owned properties, which is really affecting the prices of the houses that are on the market now. So it's pretty bad.
How long before we get back to normal?
Well, depending on what your perception of normal is. I mean, normal is, as I perceive it, is back to the days our grandparents were around. They actually put down 20%, and they actually could afford the houses, and that's the problem. I mean, so and actually banks verified mortgage, not your mortgage, but where you worked and how much money you had in the bank. So it's going to be quite a while. I'd say probably 3 to 5 years at least.
Now let's talk about credit cards. I hear that people are using them less. Isn't that a good thing?
Well, they are using them less, but not by choice necessarily. What's happening is that their high limits on the cards are being reduced, accounts are being closed, and people are certainly maxed out at this point. So they're paying more with cash for whatever they buy, and it's actually a good thing. It's actually stopping people from using credit. The problem is it's really affecting the credit score significantly because they're coming down, because the high limits are coming down.
How does this credit card usage play into the real estate crisis?
The credit card use actually is playing into the credit card crisis, and I think a lot of banks realize that people are using the credit cards to actually pay off for their mortgages. And so they were making the monthly payments with cash advances against the credit card, so it's becoming a problem. And the fact that their cards are now maxed out or the accounts have been closed is now causing a problem, so now we're going to see more foreclosures coming on because of that, so it's a problem.
Is there any good news that comes from this crisis?
There is good news because we're going to have to get back to the basics on the financial bearings as a nation and as a family. I think now people are actually going to have to sit down with their family and not spend $1,000 per child on a holiday season and not have these extravagant birthday parties. And I think we're just going to have to really just discipline ourselves and use our cash more wisely than we have in the past.
Joe, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Elise, thank you very much for inviting me this evening.
Our guest tonight was Joe Russo, author of Selling Your House in This Housing Emergency of 2008. His website is americasbestagent.com. Thanks for joining us. Good night.